So, I'm making this video to share some news about Scooby. Most of you have maybe at least met him or at least seen my videos. Um, he's been with me and my former partner for 5 years that he's been alive. 5 years and 6 months. Never had a problem. And he's very lovable. And was on the picket line with me in 2019, and has seen hang out with my elderly father. We have cleaners come over and landscapers come over. No problems at all. Nothing. Not even so much as like people aren't even afraid of him. I mean, he's big. He is a chow chow and a husky. So, but he's never, in those entire 5 years, ever displayed any problems or anything that would even concern us. Over the past year, he started to act a little bit weirder, a little bit stranger. And the vet had told us on Monday that he has, unfortunately, had developed this condition called rage syndrome. Basically what had happened was, and how we knew something was off. So his co-owner and also my ex, he lived with him for 4 years of his life, and we got him at the same breeder, which was a reputable breeder. We did all the training, we did everything, fed him the right foods, took care of him. I have other pets. We made sure that they were hidden away. Never even suspected that there was ever any type of issue until about a year ago. And it culminated in him with his co-owner, who came to take care of him and watch him when I was in Williamsburg. And he's a co-owner. He loves this dog. The dog loves him, and looks at him like an owner. Never had any problems. When I'm at Williamsburg, I get a call from him at 2:30 in the morning, and he was screaming, and he was saying, Scooby just bit my face off. Scooby just bit my face off. I was like, what? Like, how is it even? I could not comprehend that. Like, did you scare him or wake him up? Like, what happened? Like, why did this happen? And I'm thinking, when he first called me, maybe he just scratched. He sent me a picture. He had bite marks here, big bite mark on his cheek. There was a piece of skin that was flapped off. He was bleeding. He had bite marks and scratches here, right next to his eye. He almost lost an eye. What had happened was, he had gone to sleep. The dog was normally, like he normally does, just sleeping on the floor in front of the bed, or he'll go and sleep in the hallway, or he'll come back, whatever. And he came back, and when he was sleeping in the same bed that he slept in when he was here, Scooby has slept. Dog started scratching at him, scratching at his face, biting his face. He would bite, and then he would retract, and then he would come back and bite again. He had called, when he was telling me this, I said, get the dog, the dog, where's the dog? Dog's outside. Okay, good. Go to the emergency room. And he had to go to the emergency room, had to get stitches on his face. He also had to get stitches on his back, because as he had gotten up from the bed and the dog kept going and going, was also scratching at his back. So he had to get stitches for that too. I was in Williamsburg, and it was 2 a.m, and I was leaving. There was the next flight out was 24 hours. So I just made it there, and just tried to think to myself, like, first of all, if the dog's outside and if somebody walks by while he's in the hospital, what if he goes out and he, biting him? Still, I'm confused. I'm like, what is happening? This is out of nowhere after 5 years. After all these people, not one person has ever been like scared of him or afraid of him. I used to say it all the time, like, if somebody would try to break into my house, he'd probably help them carry everything out. Like, he was that kind of dog. And sleep, and I closed the door because I didn't want him in there. I mean, I knew what had happened to, and I don't want that to happen to me. I was, concerned. And he would just periodically start scratching. I mean, not just scratching, like throwing his whole body and scratching to the point where he is like making marks in his door. And I actually recorded it because I didn't think anybody would like believe me at how terrifying this was. But still, glad it wasn't a human that it scratched up like that. Again, we thought it was just part of normal dog behavior. Now, the vet just did the regular exam, did the blood work to see if there's anything going on with that, medically that might be causing these behaviors. And there was nothing. And, she also looked at different possible causes, and there was nothing. She also looked over physically just to see like what, if there was anything physically that was causing him pain. We looked at his leg, nothing wrong. He, at that point, because he had started off the appointment growling, so she had a muzzle on him, but they were very kind, very nice. But she's known this dog since he was a baby. Like, we've been through everything, together. He loved going to the vet, like, gets excited. There should have been no problem at all. And he turned around, and normally when he turns around after the exam, like, he'll be licking her face or whatever. He turned around like he was going to do that, and he, let out this snarl and this growl and went right for her face. And at that point, we, started asking more questions, and we started talking about it. And I had, shared with what had happened with his co-owner. And, she was very concerned. She said, this is, she explained to me what was possibly potentially going on. I then started thinking about other incidences that had happened over the past year. These different incidences I just attributed them to being dog behavior. I mean, he's a Chow Chow and a Husky. So what could possibly be this is just normally, and, I blame myself for some of the incidents that happened. Had killed a chinchilla, Rapido, who I've also got videos on. And he killed Chip, my sugar glider. And then because he killed Chip, then Dale, who was his little brother, and they were 7 years old, he died of loneliness a few weeks later. But each one of those times, no remorse, nothing. And he didn't even try to kill. I mean, he wasn't trying to eat them. It was just almost like killing them for sport. He's killed a couple rats in the yard. I took him right to the vet. They tested him. He's had the rabies vaccine, everything. Even this week when they did the blood work, they did the physical exam, there was nothing, no explanation for this. And we looked into everything. We've tried everything. And unfortunately we had to make a decision between the two of us and the vet. There's no room that this was the best option, was to put him to sleep. And this has been something that, again, if you know him, most of you, my friends and stuff, people know him. There's still videos up on my social media accounts because I'm not gonna take them down. I can't even look at them right now. And as we went through the process today at the vets, both of us were like crying our eyes out because we just remember the good times. We don't remember the bad times. And and I'm just so grateful that he never killed anyone. It was hard for us to sit there and go through the euthanization process, but it's sometimes and if you have a dog that is showing any of these symptoms, please take them to the vet, because it only gets worse. And it's like I said, with each one of these incidences, there was no reason for it. There was no provocation. There was nobody provoked the dog, and the dog would just go into this and then snap right out of it. And that was just enough for it to be way out of that abnormal dog behavior, especially for a dog that everybody loves. So thank you for watching or listening. But when I get his ashes back, I'm just gonna put him right next to, I haven't cried as much as I cried today since my mom died. And but thank you for listening.